Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty Team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, today, green ideas in real estate in Denton, Texas. And now, I'm kind of alluded to the fact that I'm not a huge fan of this. We're gonna report on it honestly, and unlike CNN and ABC. But we're gonna also kind of interject a little bit some of my opinions. Sorry about that, but we'll see how we'll kind of see how it goes. So first of all, a great idea here. Builders in Denton County are kind of focusing on energy efficient designs that reduce environmental impact. So we're talking about energy efficient and high end advanced insulation, energy efficient windows, great idea. High performance HVAC systems, great idea. And then kind of adhering to that Energy Star certification. There's actually also a builder here in Denton who will, based upon the model of house you decide to build, okay, they will tell you that your heating and cooling costs will not exceed, X amount per model, for the first year or two, I forget what it is. And that if you do end up exceeding that, you'll get a refund at the end of the year. Now, what I'm not sure is what the restrictions are. Like, in the summer, you have to set your thermostat at 84, and in the winter, you have to set it at, 62. I don't know about those. I'm not 100% sure about those types of things, but they do really make a really energy efficient house. I know that for a fact, and I do know that they're kind of guaranteeing your price, and so I think that's all good. Okay. Solar panels are becoming increasingly common. That we have a lot of sunny days here. Not only hot, but a lot of sunny days that will make the solar panels kind of pay off in the long run. I think right now the problem with the solar panels is the fact that they're so expensive. I mean, I think most of the solar panel companies, in order to install them on your house, you have to take out a loan that's really substantial. Okay, and that's where I think solar panels really kind of fall down a little bit. But there are a lot of people, even in our neighborhood here, who have them and like them. In some cases, my father, as an example, when he lived in North Carolina, had a generator, not a generator, but a battery bank, kind of like Elon Musk's Powerwall, but I think it was a Generac, to be honest with you. And the solar panels would charge the batteries in the power pack, let's call it, in case they often had in the winter, they often had power outages because of the ice on the lines and stuff like that. There was a number of times where they lost power and all of that. And so by having this battery pack, again, if you will, he was able to keep his refrigerator and stuff running. And then the solar panels charge that. So even if it went out for a week or so, he would get the sunlight and charge it up. So great idea in theory, but I think the cost is sort of kind of over the top for a lot of people. I must get a call maybe a couple times a month about somebody who wants to give me an estimate and how much it's going to cost me and that kind of stuff, and I already know, and it's just something that I'm not willing to make the investment in it. So to each his own. Hey, before we get going any further, do us all a favor. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be youtube.com/@Moving.to.Dallas, Texas. You'll be the first to know when we get the updated content, whether it's vlogs like this or whether it's past vlogs that you're able to go take a look at, or we have maybe a update or video on a new listing or a new house that we put out there, and you'll be the first to know about that. So hey, like and subscribe, please. And we thank you for doing that, and we appreciate you and your time. Next on the list is drought-resistant landscaping and rainwater harvesting. I like this. Okay, I like this idea. I think that, and I'm looking at it, frankly, not from a green aspect, but from a cost aspect, and time aspect. I mean, so if I can put drought-resistant landscaping in that would take less water to keep alive and keep looking nice, I think that'll be great. I'll be able to like lower my sprinkler usage, and also trapping rainwater or harvesting rainwater. I think is a great idea as well. There was always this a story about comparing George W. Bush and Al Gore. So George W. Bush had all of these kind of eco-friendly green ideas in his house in Crawford, and Al Gore did not. And Al Gore was spending, tens of thousands of dollars every year on all of these expenses for utilities and stuff, where Bush wasn't. So like, who was the environmentalist and not, right? But a lot of neighborhoods. You have a neighborhood over here called Harvest and another one called Pecan Square, who have actually these kinds of things available to homeowners and builders and that kind of thing. So it's all cool, it's all cool. It's helping, it's helping. I look at it from a helping cut expenses for homeowners. And I think that's always, that's always good. Smart technology, we kind of touched on this before. This is sort of my favorite. Okay. In a way, we'll get to some of this in a second, but any devices that you can use to turn on and off lights to save electricity, program your thermostat to program your thermostat to set your temperatures and that kind of stuff at a reasonable rate, and reduce your electrical costs, your electrical usage, I think is great. And that again comes from a homeowner money saving, aspect, and not necessarily the environmental thing, right? So I like the ideas. I don't like necessarily having my thermostat tie back into the power company. We had a lot of stories here in North Texas last year or the year before that said they had bought into the Wi-Fi thermostat that tied back into the power company, and they were monkeying around with their settings on their thermostat, during the summer and the winter, to help, number one, preserve the grid, and number two, to reduce energy usage. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm still these are part of our freedoms kind of thing. But hey, again, sort of, to each his own, right? Builders are also opting into eco-friendly materials like reclaimed wood, recycled steel, and low volatile organic compound paints rather. So the paint was fine, and the recycled steel, I'm for it. I'm not a big fan of the reclaimed wood. There was incidences back during the Katrina flooding that they were getting some of the reclaimed wood and using it in the North Texas area after it's been waterlogged for a month or something like that. Not a huge fan. Okay, then you're sort of kind of getting other people's issues and problems, and then the environment is fighting you back because there's there could be mold, black mold, all the kinds of things in the wood, and that's just not I'm not really jazzed about that. And then finally, new homes in Denton County are being designed with passive solar techniques. big fan of this, where the house is situated in such a way, that walls either collect or repel the sun, the windows kind of let the sun in terms of heating your house in the winter, those kinds of things. Then it raises and lowers your, again, your electric and your heating and cooling bills. Fan of that. Great. I like the technology. I like the American ingenuity here. It's really cool. So I think that's a really good, that's a really good idea. However, the downside to that is, you got to tear your house down and build a new one in order for this to work. And I'm not going to be doing that for a long time. So anyway, I hope that gave you some info. Sorry about the commentary. I just had to, add my 2 cents. Next week, we're going to be talking about the cost of moving in North Texas. There's a lot of people that are moving in and out of the North Texas and around the North Texas area, and this will give you some ideas about the cost to you of moving around North Texas, and will give you some things to think about. As you maybe think about upsizing or downsizing your home and moving to maybe a different location, or even a different state, or what have you. So we'll talk to you next week. Hey, this is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty Team. So long.